Welcome to Video Marketing Made Easy, where we believe video is the most powerful way to monetize your message, stand out in the market, and grow your business. I am Dallin Nead, and we want to bring you some great value this week by the way of repurposing an interview I did for a virtual summit, a virtual event where I was interviewed for an audience of consultants, of course creators, online business owners, speaking about how to use video in 2021 and beyond to truly connect with your audience and grow your business. So what we're going to do is we are going to roll the tape, so to speak, on that interview. And what you'll hear are a series of answers to questions that were asked to me. And I share insight on not only our video supply advertising framework, but practical ways, everyday ways that you can use video to help you stand out and grow your business, which is what we stand for here. So let's jump into that summit interview. Hopefully this is ingrained in your mind already from all the marketing gurus and strategies out there. But I truly do believe if you're not using video in 2021 and beyond, then you will quickly become irrelevant in your business. You will not be able to become an authority to the audience of people who need what you offer, who need your knowledge. Because as consultants, right, it's all about helping to sell our knowledge or expertise, but also help people get quick results. And one of the most powerful ways, if not the most powerful way, is to connect first through video, like we're doing now, right? We're recording this as a video. And I'm sure, many of you consultants out there do plenty of video calls and conferencing, but it goes beyond that. It's not just after you have them as a client, it comes before. It comes with that education and that kind of messaging that you need to attract people. And that way, by the time they get on that phone call with you or that video call, your face and interacting with you is not something so brand new as they feel like they already know you a little bit. And you can make a long list of hundreds and hundreds of micro mistakes, but I would boil it down to three main mistakes. And the first one is there's no clear messaging inside of your video strategy and your video content. And when you don't have a clear message, meaning the language you use to talk about what you do and why you do it, then you won't attract the right audience. You won't attract the right clients that you actually want to serve and that you feel called to serve. And that messaging comes down to simplicity as well. It's important to be simple with your messaging and knowing how to talk about what you do. And it's not going to help you to simply say, hey, I'm a business consultant, because there are so thousands, if not millions, of self-proclaimed consultants out there that when you identify yourself simply just as that, no longer can you stand out. You need to get more niche down, get more specific in your messaging and how you talk about yourself and how you identify as a consultant, and then who you serve. And so that way it's easy for your audience to raise their hand and be like, hey, this is exactly what I need, or I know someone who needs this. So that's the first mistake. I would say the next mistake is there's no marketing plan. And so when you have no marketing plan behind your videos, because video is one essential piece of your larger marketing plan, right? Whether you've got the copywriting, the podcasting, doing summits like this to attract the attention you need to grow your business, a marketing plan is essential because it sets up your sales strategy behind it. Videos are only as powerful as your ability to take all that attention, take those new leads, and then convert them into new sales and clients in your consulting business. And so it's essential that you set up a marketing plan with an emphasis on a sales system and that pipeline in order for your videos to actually work to help you grow your business. And then the third piece is that, speaking to the video element, you have worthless video content. That's a big mistake. And what that looks like is that you're simply just not publishing whatsoever. And so any kind of, you're not putting content out there, so it's worthless. There's no value. You're not sharing the right information with your audience. And it can be as simple as a webcam video, a cell phone video, some kind of follow-up system. But how powerful is it to be in a conversation with your audience or your potential customer before they hire you, and do so in video in just a friendly way? You remove the perfection that may happen, the perfection that may happen when you pre-record content. You have the ability to edit. You do a live video, maybe you try a few takes, but people can see that, hey, they're human and I can connect with them. And so I would say those are the three mistakes that entrepreneurs and consultants make with their video strategy. You definitely need to be clear enough on knowing how to talk about what you do, so your message, and make it unique enough that it will immediately attract your perfect audience and then repel the wrong ones. And when you have that in place and you basically have some key lines of dialogue, so to speak, memorized, as if you're an actor or actress, then if you were to be pulled on an impromptu live stream, or you're doing some kind of interview, some kind of content creation, then you can confidently know what to say. A big part, though, is a plan. And that's one of the key steps that we take our clients through, is first establish a plan. And that comes with a series of steps within that. First, definitely clarifying your brand message, and then doing the proper research with your customers, so your audience, the market, the product, and understanding how to talk about and talk with your audience, but also talk about the market. And one of the key pieces through that process that will give you unlimited content topics, whether it's video or whether it's blogging, like you're saying, Andrea, it's going to come down to your ability to talk about and show an understanding of your customers' problems. And it's not as simple as saying, like, here's a big objection or problem you have, you don't have the time. I think that's applicable to almost any type of audience out there. And yes, that is relevant, but how can you break that down further to make it specific and relatable? Maybe you share a quick story or analogy or an example. This is what it looks like when you don't have the time. Because the more your audience can feel like you understand their problems, the more that they feel like you have the solution to their problems. And that's where the natural progress of your content topics and your ability to in confidence behind your content creation will come in, is your ability to take that problem as a strong hook to attract them. It's all about creating that standout video content. Oftentimes it comes into establishing that hook, pointing out that problem, guiding them through a good story, and introducing a solution. Oftentimes that solution can be your consulting offer. If you're familiar with stand-up comedians test their material every single show they do, whether it's a certain joke or maybe it's the whole set they do, and they gauge with their live audience what lands and what doesn't, what works and what doesn't. And so when you can understand and try different types and styles of content, whether that is talking a lot about the problems, maybe it's behind the scenes of an update you're making to your offer or your product, or maybe it is some of that authenticity, you're sharing a personal story or experience that maybe you can bridge that experience to relate it to your business, or most importantly to your audience and what they need to hear. I think there's so many options, and it comes down to how you may use your technology as well that's available, where there's plenty of purposes for having a talking head video like this, right? Face to camera, presenting information. But maybe there's an opportunity to try out content that is maybe animations. So visually, without them maybe hearing anything, they can still get the message across, or you can still get the message across. They can receive it. But it's also relevancy to where they are in their journey with working with you. Because a lot of times on social media or that first point of contact, that is should be most of your content effort, getting that attention out there. And that's, I would say, about 80% of all your efforts. And so as you test your material and test the styles of video and content you create, do so in a way that helps them get to know you and helps them get to know themselves. Because then what happens is when they're like, okay, I could trust this guy or gal, I'm going to go to their website and learn more. And that's where they can download a free resource, become a new lead in your business, maybe book that consult. And as they do that, your message will be different on your website because they already know who you are. Now you're looking to build that relationship further and eventually lead them to the sell, which is when they show that they trust you when they pay you. It's easy to overthink that we need all the right tools, and I'll speak from personal experience. It's hard, for those who kind of have the artist hearts and minds behind it. You want all the best tools. You want to look amazing every single time. But ultimately, the best camera for video or photos or whatever, the best camera you have is the one you have on you. And that usually is your webcam or your phone. Nowadays, I mean, you got Apple, you got Google, all these phone manufacturers that are making their camera capabilities look amazing. And so, with a few quick hacks, I mean, most of the experience with video comes down to how good your audio is. Because if people can't hear your message, think about going to a movie theater and having no sound, back to the silent film days. There's only so much you can feel and understand with what's going on. So yeah, technology doesn't matter. Definitely use what you have available. You can upgrade over time. Even now I'm using a photography camera that I can plug in it's a webcam into my computer. So it makes the image look better. But this is something I recognize is that part of my mission is to help entrepreneurs all around the world get their influential message out there, help them grow their business, and doing so by eliminating 3 roadblocks that keep them from doing that. And those 3 roadblocks are technology and mindset and then environment. So for me, I have my own office, thankfully. And so that's my environment check, right? I got a dedicated space. I don't have to work in my bedroom, which serves 2 purposes. And then my technology. I have my technology always set up, and within seconds I can go live. Most of us can do that with our phones, right? And record content. And then the third piece is mindset. And so working through the fears of showing up, the fears of putting out messages, come down with just further confidence and clarity around, well, how do I talk about what I do? What is my message? Is my marketing plan set up? And then recognizing that you're only going to be able to grow your business to the extent that you are willing to show up and stand out with content. We follow, I'm wearing a t-shirt, it says Video Supply. That's our video advertising framework. And it follows a 3-step process of plan, produce, and promote, because the plan is essential, because nothing of success happens by accident. There's always design and intention behind it. So we want to make sure we get that plan in place. And that actually takes most of the effort, because you want to be able to put a plan in place that not only do you plan the list of videos you need that are essential for your growth and success, but you also want to script certain videos. Because if you don't have a script, or at least an outline, maybe I'm the only one, but I tend to ramble and I tend to say things wrong. And so it's important to have some kind of understanding of, from point A to point Z, what do I need to talk about? And then doing that research, planning your distribution strategy before you even hit record. That way you know how you're going to use your content. And then the production side. We often recommend, and we take our clients through, a 1-day film session every 3 months. And so that way you can capture content. You can show up for 1 day every 3 months and then put it into a marketing machine, using different team members. And especially being a consultant in the face of your business, think about how powerful that is to show up 1 day, but then you're showing up every single day for the next 3 months. It takes 1 day of that effort. And then by step 3, promotion phase, this is all about preparing all the content, designing it in a way that it will stop people scroll or capture the right attention you need, and then using different organic or free and paid strategies to get the attention of your ideal audience. Video is another form of content. And so whether it's copy, podcasting, it all applies. And I think there's a lot of power in time productivity with batch content creation. And then the ability to repurpose. You talk about blogging, writing all those words. Why not take a video that shows your authority, and whether it's yourself or a team member, repurposing that into a blog article that goes on your website. And you can then embed that video inside your blog article. So there's a lot of power, and oftentimes starting with a video provides the repurposing power, because video includes all types of content. You can put captions, so copy, right, on the screen, animations, design. You got photos to show your thumbnail. The audio version could be a podcast. And so I think there's a lot of power, and a lot of businesses are doing that nowadays, just to kind of extend the efficiency of their time. But yeah, no, like you said, it's a simple process that applies to all types of content creation. One that definitely comes to mind, and it speaks to what I was talking about with these 3 barriers that keep us from creating, is ask yourself, what is stopping me from using video to grow my business? And if you recognize, it's kind of like it's a mindset thing. Like, I think I'm not good enough on video. Maybe, I want to look amazing every single time, be well groomed, the makeup, the hair, the wardrobe, all that stuff. And recognize that unless it's terribly distracting, right? You got the big bed ahead, maybe rough night, there's those things to consider a little bit, but ultimately your audience is going to care more about the message you have to share versus the visual you have to share. And that's why the camera ultimately doesn't matter. And that, even Hollywood films are being shot on cheaper and cheaper cameras nowadays. But yeah, so suggestions is definitely asking yourself, what's keeping me from creating video content? And usually the easy wins for you is to set up your environment for easy content creation. Removing distractions. For me, I always have a camera set up. I've got one room that's only dedicated to work. It's not like I've got, toys for my kid in the corner. It's not like I've got a TV to watch movies or couch. It's dedicated to work. So my environment, that's no longer a barrier from creating content. And then having your technology always available. Maybe you have a simple tripod for your phone that all you have to do is turn over, hit a few buttons, and then you're recording a message. Maybe it's a follow-up message to one of your clients you're trying to build that relationship with. But then, asking yourself, like, what do I need to eliminate in my mind that is keeping me from creating content? Is it just further confidence that knowing how to talk about what you do, that messaging element? Is it like, I don't know if my marketing plan is quite right? Usually, if your videos are not working or if you're not creating content, it comes down to definitely the mindset, environment, or technology. And then digging deeper, it comes down to confidence and clarity around your messaging, your marketing. We just basically recently moved into a home, but I moved from LA to Denver. And in LA, we were in a smaller place, and my desk was 2 feet away from my bed when I first started working from home. And so environment is not always as set up for success. So do your best with what you have, and maybe recognize, like, part of my environment, maybe I need to set apart 2 hours every week for content creation with video, and maybe ask the kids or your family or other distractions. I hate to call them distractions, but other distractions, and allow yourself to have an environment void of distractions in order to create. Some environments, so the virtual backgrounds you can add in your Zoom or Skype meetings, they can be distracting. And as long as you choose a natural looking one, there's literally, I've been on calls and it was like 20 minutes in, I was like, wait a minute, is that not your real background? It can be pretty crazy how some backgrounds are so convincing. And that's a good thing, right? Like, you want to make it so subtle. It's kind of like speaking to video, like if you watch, again, a Hollywood film, I guarantee there's so many visual effects and fake things you're watching, but you have no idea it's actually fake. And that's by design. Like, that's what they want you to think. And so your virtual background should be the same. Unless it's, you could have fun, right? And if your audience will love it, do some, like, act like you're floating into space, right? And that can maybe be a hook to a video. And so just understand, what is my purpose of the video? Is it to draw attention to my background and how I'm interacting with it? Or do people just need to pay attention to what I'm talking about? So, but yeah, I mean, there's so many, whether it's the set you have behind you, those distractions, audio distractions. Often you hear construction. I've got my 4-year-old screams like a banshee at times. And so, yeah, no, it's just respecting those and working with what you have. Videosupply.com is the best way to learn about how to engage with us for video for your business. We have multiple plans that work for any level or growth stage you are in your business to help you grow your dream business, be that consulting or other types of industries. And to do that, it just comes down to getting a clear understanding on like what do I want video to do for me. A big part of it is visibility, because when you're not using video, you're invisible to your audience. People don't know what you look like. And so that's a great place to get started. And we start simply with building your plan. Like, what does your plan look like? And how can we guide you to success with helping you get unbelievably visible and standing out profitably with your dream audience? Thanks for listening to this episode. Before you go, I want to invite you to get your free ticket to a 5-part documentary series that we are releasing called Visionaries: From Invisible to Unforgettable, where you'll be able to discover how modern visionary entrepreneurs are transforming their businesses from invisible to unforgettable with powerful messaging, marketing, and content that helps them stand out and grow successful businesses. We're going to break down those key shifts that you need to take, those from mindset to identity and so much more, in order to double down on using video the right way and connecting with your audience, so that way you can serve them and help yourself grow both in business and personally as well in the process. And it all is focused on Video Supply. So you can get your free ticket by going to videosupply.com/series to register now.